So, in this video, it's a long video, you're going to see 14 years worth of evolution of this Cutlass. I got this car back in 2010, in December 29th, 2010 is the first day I got this car. And I recently discovered on my dad's old phone that there's footage of this car the day it rolled in. Now, this is filmed in 2010 on an early to mid-2000s flip phone. So it is pixelated really bad and it looks like it was filmed on a potato. I didn't even know this footage existed. I'm just thankful that it's there. It's bad, but it gives you a kind of an idea of what the car used to look like. You'll see in the video, it used to be dark green and rust. I tried to keep this whole video down to about an hour. It went just slightly over. And I had to cut out so much. There's so much not even in this video. And unfortunately, from me getting the car in 2010 to getting it on the road in 2013, that means rebuilding the engine, servicing the transmission, the rear axle, doing brake lines, fuel lines, everything to make this thing streetable, suspension work, doing backyard body work, getting it painted black. None of that is on video. It took us from 2010 to summer of 2013 to get the car on the road. You'll see that, and then you'll see how the car lived its life from 2013 to 2019, completely 100% stock, down to the stock camshaft, stock points, distributor, everything. And then you'll see when I finally got my 455 and I tore the 350 out of the car and everything we had to go through to get that 455 running.
Well, this is our new wreck. 68 Cutlass.
I really hate that antenna on the corner. I might take it off.
You think?
Relocate it. That color on the wheels does not match that car at all. That's so ugly.
I thought I was recording. I missed it. I thought I was recording some more and I stopped and I turned it back on again.
Alright, well, let's fire it up.
Hang on a second. Going back for another look at things. I recognize the time is ticking on the video, so it must mean that I'm running. Nice headliner, that's optional. At least electric windows all work. Horn works. Some of the lights work.
I don't know why they're black.
Well, that's what it looks like from here. It looks rough, but it'll run good. It'll run strong. Alright, that's it for now.
442 gets hit first with 1102 versus the Wagon's 1133.
We're back home and the car is put away, tucked into bed. Let's go over some time slips. This is what we're looking at. We made 4 runs. That's all we had time to do. Now, this is number 1. I took the left lane. Wagon was in the right. I took the right lane. Now, it was nice. My reaction times are getting lower and lower. And I've never taken a car to this, I've never taken a car to a strip before a day in my life. This is the first time. It's fun. Actually, it was really fun. I want to see if they have season passes. But, yeah, my dad's a little too soggy off the line. And overall, every time I went down, I was getting off the line faster and I was picking up speed, except for these last 2 tickets. These last 2, Riley rode in the wagon, which weighed it down even more. And that messed with my dad's time. And then we put Riley in my car to slow me down a little bit. And that's how we got the footage. And I still drove right around the wagon. So, I don't know how well this is gonna focus for you guys. But yeah, fun times. We're gonna do it again. And if you look closer at the ladder bar, what's wrong with that picture right there? My mistake. This is the driver's side. I thought it was the passenger side that's broken. It's been so long since I've been under this car. But yeah, that's how much of it's not there. Damn.
She's out.
That went according to plan perfectly.
Yeah.
We meant to do that.
We didn't hit the gas.
Alright, so this is my 1970 Olds 455 out of our Olds 98. Here's a quick look at it as it sits. We may have some issues inside. We'll know when we get this apart. So let's go ahead and dig in.
Got a hold of it, Mark.
Yep.
Jesus. There's a whole gun. There's 2 tubes.
Watch that tube. See that? Enough of the whole thing. Jesus.
Can't see the can of that.
I mean, the push rods are even clean. What are we missing here? This isn't a factory head gasket.
No. I just grab that push rods and
I'm just gonna lay in here for now.
yeah, bro. Rag. WD-40.
Definitely gonna need a bore job.
Not definitely. I don't see anything.
That's not good. And it's not factory head gaskets. These heads have been off. These are Fel Pros.
Yep.
Alright, so I got this other head off on the passenger side and things look respectable. Like, I'm not going to complain about that, but still, the other cylinder, this engine's going to need a bore job. But reason I really fired the camera up is because I took the timing cover off the engine right there on the floor. This is a rare occurrence. This engine's got mileage on it. You can see all the play in the chain. But what do you notice is different about this one? Look at the cam. Look at the cam retard. All the nylon's still on the gear. You never see that. I told my dad about it and he freaked out. He's like, oh, you know why it's still there? Because it wasn't on any of our cars. Gotta pull this crank next, get this block stripped completely, and then it should be on the way to the machine shop. Well, last Sunday, we tore the 350 out of this car and kind of made it useless for now. But that's going to change here in the future, and hopefully the replacement engine decides to last, because that'd be really cool if it did. But there it is right there. 455 is still in the trash bag. It's still not fully assembled. As of right now, it's still just a short block. All the bolts are painted up. The block itself still needs painted. My timing cover, that's painted. Oil pan's painted. Balancer. Right now I'm going to show you guys how to make the most awesome homemade tape job on your engine. The lazy man's way. I'm not using these cylinder heads, and that's the spare intake for the Tornado engine. So rather than spend my time and masking tape masking a block off when it could be done perfectly with OEM parts, let's see how this works out. Also, we'll note that this was built January 13th. It's a 70 engine. It's got E heads because it's a 70, big valve heads. And over here, this tells us 30M. 3 is Oldsmobile, 0 is 70, and M is Michigan. So you might be asking yourself how that worked out. Well, I think it worked out pretty good. Only got minimum overspray on my silver intake, my aluminum silver intake. Just in case you're worried about overspray. Works like a charm. Look, it even puts it on this part of the block too, evenly. You can't tape a block up half as good as just laying the parts on it. Cam's double roller chain installed. It says USA right there. And we got our chrome fuel pump put on. I think we're gonna go ahead and put the timing cover on.
Hey, Chris here from Tested Speed Shop. Hanging out with Useful Entertainment. We're working on the 455. Bubbles is even here. And we just had to do some clearance here. Look on the cylinder head here in the fuel pump. We couldn't get the cylinder head down because this cylinder head comes out so far. It comes out almost probably almost a ½ inch, 3/8. So I had to get the old grinding stone out. We had to grind this back so that we could clear it on this fuel pump. So now we got clearance, heads down. It's not sticking up anywhere.
Oh, Chris, look at that. That's more than a half. That's about a ½ inch or more.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's.
All right, so this is what we did so far today. Just got all the rockers put on. Put this valley tray thing in here, and goes to try and be able to dump this in the car tomorrow. Not get it running, but just get it in the damn car, because tomorrow's supposed to be warm and that garage door's got to be open. So I summoned Chris into helping out.
Chris here from Tested Speed Shop.
Yeah. So that's all you get to see for now. I'll show you the motor going in the car. So see you then. I'll shove this fucking thing in there.
Is it running right now? Marty,
What?
is it running right now?
That's why you're waving to it.
Oh, I didn't hear the click.
all we did was dump it in the car. We played with the headers for about an hour and a half to find out that we have to move the proportioning valve on the frame rail for the brakes. Because in order to get them to line up to the head, they got to tip this way, and by tipping it that way, the back part is banging against the frame where the proportioning valve is. It's crushing the valve in between the frame and the valve. But anyway, that's that. But that's what she looks like. And I think I'll be okay on hood clearance. Once the carburetor's in there, I should have enough clearance to put the carb on and that big air filter assembly I have. I believe I'll be good. So, back to the Cutlass. It looks good. It looks like it might even start, but we're not even close. We're going back in time with our build now. I had to remove the driver's side wheel well. That was hanging me up for a while. And I had to take the booster and master cylinder off the firewall. Left a nice gaping hole in the firewall. We had to take the wheel well out in order to get... Okay, so let me back up. What's going on here is we're trying to put this 455 in the car. We're trying to get it started, but we can't get the driver's side header on until we get the Z-bar and all the brackets and stuff in for the 4-speed. 4-speed's not going in yet, but we want to have the pedals and all that stuff in there. Everything but the transmission itself. So then we can fire this motor up, break it in, drive around the block, see how it does, then drop the 2-speed out of it and put the 4-speed in. So what my buddy Chris wanted to do is he said, let's hold off on putting this header on for now until we can fit the header in with the Z-bar and the push rods for the clutch. Well, we couldn't get in there because where the brackets go on the frame rail is directly below, right there, where the booster and the master were in the way. And getting in there with the wheel well in the way was going to be impossible also. So now that's out of the way, and this is just a burned tire. Came off the riv. Now, look at all that space we have to get in here. Not to mention, it was almost impossible to put the header bolts on. So instead of doing those from upstairs, now we can just get right in here. I'm gonna have to take the proportioning valve for the brakes, which looks like a jungle. I'm gonna have to disassemble all this, relocate everything, probably cut and extend some brake lines. And then we can proceed from there. I modified my heater hoses for the heater core. That one goes into the core, that one comes out, and it used to go straight to the water pump as a bypass. But I put a 3-way connector in here, so now I can run this hose to the radiator, because we've all seen it before, those little dummy caps they put on the radiator made out of rubber. After 6 months, they like dry rot and split, and then antifreeze starts spewing everywhere. So I'm going to bypass that plug altogether by running 3 hoses. I want to say thanks to Jed over at Scott's Speed Shop for hooking me up with his buddy Rob over at Jegs. Got me a slight hookup on a McLeod clutch, and pretty good discount. But I had a clutch for this car that I was going to use, and it was a 10.5, and it was some off-brand. I was talking to Jed about it, and he's like, look, let me put you on the phone with Rob, we'll figure out what we need. And now maybe I won't smoke a clutch as easy. I was pretty impressed with what came in the box. It's pretty nice. Oh yeah, they gave me some cool stickers, man. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm gonna put these on like my dad's station wagon or something. But yeah, the pressure plate is actually the correct paint code. The correct color code for that red on that pressure plate is indeed, it's called Performance Red, I believe. But anyway, we got some 4-speed parts in here. I have pretty much everything I need now. Throw it rod, clutch rod. I have everything. Return spring. The only thing I'm missing to put that 4-speed in the car now is I need the bracket that mounts my shifter to the trans, and I need the hump that you weld into the floor. So yeah, there's a bell housing right there. 4-speed is next door in that garage right over here. The same garage that's encasing a 79 T-top Chrysler Cordoba that's hidden in there somewhere. And yeah, we're gonna go forward from here. I think today's the day everybody's been waiting for. We got Chris, Tom, and Mike got the Cuda over here. And today's Halloween. And we're supposed to be rolling this outside. Now, if the Cutlass makes it out of the house, it'll be the first time it's been out of the garage in over a year.
And we got super unleaded in that bad boy.
So they're topping it off with gas right now, filling up the fuel bowls. And we're gonna roll it on outside and see if we can fire it up and break the motor in. So let's stick around and see what kind of shenanigans unfold. All right, ready? Yep. Good? Yep. Well, we're gonna be back for a take 2. Take 2.
No, we already pumped it.
Again?
Yeah.
I have a feeling the distributor might be in backwards, because that's been known to happen too.
What's leaking?
Oil. Tranny clutch. Yeah, it's leaking tranny clutch. Shit.
Smoking. Got a lot of smoke going on.
Good job, man. I gotta head out.
Catch you later, man.
Oh man, what happened? I don't know. What's leaking? Oil.
Here.
So nobody stepped on it.
There, so we had a tranny line that took a shit right by the header. I guess when we were ripping them around, trying to make them fit, we tore a hole in it. So that's what all that smoke was. We lost about, what, a quart of lost about a quart of training fluid. So now we're going to try it again.
I'll let you control the throttle.
Yeah, do that. You can't hear under the hood, that's the problem. I'm gonna set you up on the camera, outside and inside, and let's fire this thing up. All right, we should have good cranking power because we just charged the battery last week. All right, let's see what we can come up with. Come on. Fuel pump needs to hurry up. Oh, there we go. Shot of that stuff. Yeah, that's
exhaust. Look at that.
Can't drive the car with those on.
No, that's an accident waiting to happen.
Everything was hunky-dory for 300 miles, and then the motor blew up. Spun a rod bearing. A little too much silicone on the oil pan. I don't get how all that fucking... Here's your problem, is when you have a pickup right here, and you find all this inside of it. That's, I dug all that out of the pickup.
So looking with a pan making adhesion to that gasket, I don't see where's accessory.
Yeah, I don't see how or where I picked it up from. Thrust.
bugs on it. Like that. Does that take voice?
Yeah,
Why should talk about it?
because I can overdub it later. I just want to get footage of what everything looks like. I'll overdub it later. It's clean.
They're not like a regular dimple rod, but it's the Chevy rods you use like a truck in the 70s, in the late 70s. It's a little fatter at the bottom, like back where the ear is. Like where, so they put, it's got ARC bolts and stuff in it, and it's got a forged crank, so it's over $2,100. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Right, really like 920 each one.
That's pretty much what all the rod bearings look like.
Most.
And then I took 7 cylinders. I took 7 rods out of this engine, and when I got to the last one, this is what I found. Spun right there, cylinder number 7. So, I'm gonna have to see if that rod's gonna be okay and usable, if that cap might be a problem. We'll find out. Okay, so fast forward to putting the engine back in the car after it was repaired, because I don't want to watch that whole debacle any more than I have to. Enjoy. All right, let's get to it. Alright, so y'all remember that kid when you used a game called Bob It, where you had to like...
That kid would use a game?
Bob it, crank it, twist it, yank it, and fucking that game, well, we just reinvented the whole thing. We're gonna play this drunk game called 1-8436572. He's got the driver's side with the odd numbers, and I got the passenger side with the even numbers. So let's see how fast we can get this going.
Alright, so it's
184.
Larry, get your hand ready.
184
3 6 5 7
2. Well, that was easy. Look at it. Look at it! Okay. Look at this. Do you remember our last episode? All the arguing, fighting, and bullshit and fuckery? Well, I finally got a bell housing on because I now have a flywheel that will hold that 11-inch clutch. And now that that's all together, now we have a bell housing. Today, we're going to try and put that against that. And then maybe, hopefully, probably, hopefully, put it in the car. So, let's see how this goes. What do you think?
Yeah, it's fine.
What?
That's fine.
What?
I said that's fine!
Alright. Let's just add some grease to this input shaft. Go greasy. What flavor is this? Oh, it's grease flavor. It's grease flavor! What am I doing? I don't know. What's Austin doing? Learning how to work a camera.
Rest in peace, Pee Wee Herman. Haha!
I'm not sorry!
goes into hole.
It's in the hole. It's greasy.
On.
On. We recording? I go to America! Anyway, look at this. It finally, well, you just saw it from another view, really fast. And it took us probably, what, 3 hours? That whole time lapse was about 3 hours. No, it was, that took us, what, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
I forgot I had to pull it back out. I had to grease the input shaft and all that. And then, you know, trying to get it in there. So now that's on. I gotta take the shifter off because that's not gonna fit when we gotta put it in the car, even though I wish it would. And I gotta put oil in this thing before I forget, because if I don't, it might go boom, and that won't be fun. Because if this thing goes boom, I'm probably gonna put an automatic back in it and sell it. Buy something else. Alright, let's do it. That's a fun.
Bolts! It cut you off.
What? You didn't get that?
It started
I
as...
hate you sometimes. Bolts! We have to be really careful with how we tighten this on, because what you can't see on camera, even if you look really hard, is there's a crack going from here to here. So like, if we over torque this here, it'll probably break off, and that wouldn't be good. So we have to do our best to tighten all 4 of these uniformly. So, firmly grasp it.
I'm gonna look up torque specs.
Yeah, and the cameraman here's gonna look up torque specs. So I'm just gonna run these in lightly, just good and tight, just a little. And once we get the final torque specs, we'll put a wrench on it.
I'm afraid the torque of this motor will twist this and make that crack worse, just like how I blew my TH350 in my Monte Carlo.
All that horsey torque. And so we got the engine on the hoist somewhat, and the one wheel just like suicided itself all over the floor. Look at all the bearings. 2 wheels suicided themselves.
I think that is a question for China.
China. As you can see, I have my people working for me. For free. I'm giving them like $3 an hour a day. Difference, a day an hour.
You're just buying us Madres food.
Oh, that's like $3. I got this.
Oh boy.
Get the pipe! The pipe! Ow! Alright. She don't want to go. She don't want to go. Oh! Backing up! Backing up! Whoa!
Apply directly to the forehead.
Ow! If I speed the footage up, it'll look like I'm jerking off.
Like, you're clear under here.
Yeah, you're going a little bit more. Alright. Tell me when. When?
You're going. You're there.
Alright, ready? Coming down.
Yeah, slide it. It's coming. You're in.
Backward. Go backward.
Keep on going.
Okay, I'm gonna push backward now.
Don't lower it anymore yet. Just push it back. I'm falling into the cradle right now. Alright.
Alright, we're in. Yeah.
Ready? You're in.
Keep me in frame. Keep me in frame.
You're all there.
I'm more important than the cars. So anyways, what you guys just saw was us putting the engine in the car. That was easy. Austin, film the engine. Let the people look at it. Look at it. Look at it! Look at it! But anyway, as you can see, we have this header just stuck in here. That's what we're working on now. This is gonna be the most funnest part of the whole entire build. These headers are not fun to install. So, I might not film that. Hang on, follow me. Who the fuck? Someone considered to call me. It's Chris. Why don't you answer Chris and ask him why he's rudely interrupting our television show?
What the fuck? We're in the middle of recording and you rudely interrupt us.
What's his problem?
Yeah, come on.
What are you doing? Yeah, you're calling me. Oh God, that wasn't played out well at all. I was looking at the phone screen when you said that. Okay. Some people just don't understand production. Chris. So anyway, like I was pointing, we're gonna put that header on now. We're gonna see how badly that fights us. And then I gotta get under the car, I gotta put the starter on, Z-bar and other stuff like that. And I might have to bend my driver's side header just a little bit more to get around the Z-bar. It fits. I know it fits. I just don't want the Z-bar up against the tube like it is, because one, it's probably gonna melt the grease out of it. And two, you know how the engines work. When you torque them up, they come up and go down. I don't want it banging the Z-bar. Also, I gotta put the ball stud on. I forgot to do that. Damn it!
What?
I got the ball stud in.
Oh my God, you scared the shit.
I forgot to put the ball stud on when the motor is outside of the car. And now it's really hard to put on while it's in the car. But now I think it's on tight enough. I put like 3/4 of Loctite on it, so hopefully it stays. The wrench is starting to round out the nut. Hopefully it stays. Look, thanks to the magic of movie magic, this is gonna take like 5 minutes. In 5 minutes from now, this will probably be running.
Welcome back to Horsepower TV.
Oh, did it? Yeah,
Came back from the commercial.
Not the house, I meant up here on the car. That was not fun.
Well, this side's gonna be fucking worse.
And the good news is, we got the easy side done. The good news is, we still have the hard side to do. Yeah! This be like school in summertime. That side is gonna be way more fun. Woo, look at it upside down.
That's a little counterproductive.
Ah! Stop it! Why are you yelling at me? You're so hurtful! So, now I'm gonna tighten all these bolts that Riley got in because I couldn't get it.
Because y'all useless.
And Riley's a fireman, so
Whacker.
everybody say hi to the fireman. He likes helping people.
Why I made it here.
But these back two bolts are almost impossible. But he had a better wrench. He's got an angle wrench. I got one of the straight wrenches.
Show him.
See, my wrench is straight. His is bent.
Just curve slightly to the right.
So, hopefully, this will work out. And if this thing ever develops a header leak, oh yeah, that's not gonna go in. That bolt's too long. It's too long until the power steering goes on. Once we bolt the power steering bracket on, that bolt will fit. But if this thing ever develops a header leak, I am not changing the gaskets. This just can live and survive with a header leak. It'll still run. It'll just go tick, 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 tick.
Well, now that we got the back and front one in, it should be easy.
How'd that go again?
You don't even got to take the back one out to get the header gasket off.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying I ain't never doing this job again. And thank God the hood's off this thing, because if the hood was on the car, it only opens this far anyway.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
That should be your thumbnail with your hand out.
The hood? No, we should all do it.
We got the Z-bar in. The process of getting the header on.
I'm over here. Charlie, don't narrate. You sound like Eeyore.
Austin's under the car.
He sounds like Eeyore. He has no TV personality whatsoever. Point at him and laugh. Anyway, we just got the Z-bar in. It was a really hard task to pull off because it goes through the header that wasn't designed for a manual transmission.
I'm in danger.
Austin's in danger! And Z-bars are stupid. And you know what else is stupid? So stupid. Hydraulic clutches. Those are just as stupid. You know what works good? A cable. Like my Mustang out there has a cable clutch. Ultimate feedback feeling, real tight and stiff. Feel every movement you make. This should have a cable clutch, and nobody makes a conversion for it that I'm aware of. So I'm gonna suck it up and deal with this pile of garbage. What did we do? So far, we got the headers in. I got these brackets right here. These are put on. Nice and neat. Power steering. Alternator. Fuel line. And nothing else, currently. So, what I need to do is put all this junk on the car real quick that I'm not going to put on camera because we don't need an 85-minute episode on me putting starters and alternators on a car. I think what we're going to do, since the week is coming to a close, everybody went home and, you know, I'm all alone again. I think I'm going to put all this shit together and I'm going to close this episode out, and when we start our next episode on the Cutlass, it'll be turnkey and fire. And hopefully, maybe, hopefully, probably not, maybe, hopefully, it'll run. What, think your shit's fast? Where'd you come from? You need to start telling me when you're running the camera, or else, you know, normally I cut this out, but it just sneaks up on me with the camera sometimes. But anyway, I got something I gotta show you guys. Can't a man just sit alone in his car and fantasize? Come, follow me. I got some stuff to show you. Every channel needs to get one of these right here. See? What's that say? Oh, useful entertainment. There we go. Look at this. Custom made. Look at that, right on my door. Oh no. Oh, the door's opening. So anyway, let's try this again for the 8th? 10th time. 10th time, let's try this again. Look at that. Every channel needs one of these so you can bomb all those subway trains out in Philadelphia. And I just got some minty overspray on my whole arm. Look at that. Show the people my hand. And don't take showers like I do either. That'll dry your skin out. It puts the lotion on its skin. Or it gets. It puts the lotion on its skin, or it gets
the hose.
It gets the hose again. Man, that would suck, huh? Don't worry, if I drop the carburetor, I'd blame it on Riley anyway. He probably dropped it. Carburetor says, choke me, daddy. Uh-oh. This got like really tight and then it got really loose. Cameraman doesn't know how to hold the camera because he's useless.
Shut up.
Uh-oh. There we go. That should be good, I hope. Where does it go? I don't know.
Who's on first?
No, what's on second? You kicked my tire. He kicked my brand new white lettered tire and now there's dirt on it. He left his trademark. Dirt. I'm trying to tighten it down and it's moving my bracket on me.
You suck.
Jackass! That's me to the floor.
Yep, you're good.
That's wide open?
Yep.
Not a chance to open any further.
Nope.
The next day.
Today, we're going to be opening up and unboxing this exhaust kit I got. Part number 17107. Look at it. 2.5 mandrel bent system, 64 to 72 GMA body. Mufflers not included. The reason I bought this kit is to my buddy Johnny, the red 68 Cutlass, you may or may not have seen, has the same kit. He can put it on his car so it went together fairly easy. So, and it kind of wasn't that expensive. It's like $480 for the whole box, minus mufflers. So, let's start unboxing this. Let's do it. I paid all that money for this. Okay, everything's wrapped in bubble wrap, but this one pipe for whatever reason. Oh wow! An H pipe. See what actually came inside the box and how does it look? Well, starting down there, there's the H pipe, and look at this. the head pipe that would go up to your collector fit right in there like a glove. Now, obviously you can put this together and weld it all together, or you could be like me and just clamp everything together because 1, I don't have a welder. 2, I can't weld. And 3, once it's welded, you can't take it back apart for any reason if you need to be. So, people decide to call me as soon as I start filming. Happens every time. Anyway, there's a tailpipe. Looks pretty. There's the other tailpipe. I don't know what that one looks like because it's in bubble wrap. Now here's your the end of your tailpipes. They give you 2 options. You can get a straight pipe that has a straight cutoff like that, or you can get one with the curve in it. So obviously there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 pipes. Obviously you're only going to put one of the 2 on there. I think we all get the point, Marty. I think we all get the point. Also, I might add, they give you a bunch of clamps, and then they give you a bunch of clamps and hangers for the tailpipes. I wasn't expecting all that. I already have hangers for the mufflers, but not for the tailpipes. In case you're wondering what kind of muffler I chose, which the kit recommends against doing, one of these bad boys. Ooh, it's a straight muffler. The kit calls for an offset muffler. So obviously I'm gonna have to go to the parts store and find some 45 angle pieces and turn that into an offset. Or the other way. Right? Well, it's not cranking over slow, so yeah. Give it some gas. Due to technical difficulties and losing countless hours of footage, more like 20 minutes of footage of us firing this up and running, all you got to see was the backwards camera from the back of the car running. Meanwhile, that whole time, Riley was going like this. Woo, look at it. Riley had this camera right now, and he was pointing it at the engine while it was running in first fire and all that. Well, I lost all that footage, unfortunately. But what I will show you is this. I couldn't use the mufflers that we had, and I'm quite salty about that, really. Car does sound good, but I'm salty. Was this. We did put a full system on it, as you can see. I'm not a fan of that H-pipe. H-pipes don't do anything worth noting, because like dual exhaust does the same thing. We ended up using these mufflers. The full-body cased Cherry Bomb Vortexes. Those came off the Trans Am you saw me driving on last week's video. We pounded these off with a hammer, and we took my straight-through mufflers, and we put those on the Trans Am. And yes, the Trans Am does sound better now than it did with these. Like I said, I'm salty. But it does sound good, and other than Riley trying to desperately attempt to tell me that this car might or might not sound like a modern Mustang with a Coyote, well, my brother showed up today and heard the car run, and he says, it sounds like one of those newer Mustangs. So, fuck you, and fuck you! It don't sound like no Mustang. It doesn't sound as good as it could have sounded with the mufflers I chose, but it's still not sounding like a Mustang. You know what sounds like a Mustang? Outside that garage door, there's a white 97 Mustang GT with Flowmasters. That car outside, that sounds like a Mustang. So how do I look on camera?
Like shit.
Shut
boss.
up!
Like shit, boss.
That's a good one. I can see it now. He's gonna be called the goddamn phone book killer.
How do I look? Like shit, boss. Yo, mama.
Anyway, as you can see, the car looks cool, it sounds cool, and it runs. So it runs. Did I mention that part?
It walks.
It runs.
Right now it's walking, but yes.
Well, here. Earlier tonight, the car you just heard run, that was filmed yesterday on 9/11. Never forget, the first time this car ran currently was on 9/11. Never forget. Tonight is 9/12. Me and Chris were hanging out working on the car, and Chris came over and we dialed in the timing. We set it to 15 degrees base timing. We're assuming it's going to be about 35-ish total timing. Got the carburetor, the thingies, you know, the thingies, one on each side of the fuel bowl that like make it lean and rich. I don't know why I can't remember what that's called right now, but the thingies. We got those set. Car sounds perfecter from what you've heard. You haven't heard it run currently. You just heard it from last night. But anyway, in case I didn't mention, the car runs. We got our new Hurst shifter. Now, I want to talk about this shifter for a minute. New shifter from Hurst, $500. Out of the box, doesn't work correctly. We had to take this shifter apart and we had to add shims to it. There's a guy, I'll link his information down below. He's got a video on YouTube and explained exactly what's wrong with these shifters, and he makes the shims and sells them. Since me and Chris added the shims to this thing, it works like it's supposed to. The problem we were having is when you go from second and you ram it over into third, there, second, third. And you couldn't do that before. What was happening was it was jamming coming out of second to third, and it would fall back into second. The shifter would get locked in neutral and you couldn't move it in any position, and you had to crawl into the car and you had to pull the lever back out of second into neutral on the transmission. And that was happening probably 50% of the time you would try and shift it from second to third. It would just bind up. And the problem is, the guy explains in his video, the newer shifter bodies that they use are slightly wider than the original older ones from the 70s. And in making the body wider, you need to add extra shims. And they're only putting the same amount of shims in they did in the old days with the skinnier bodies. Now that that's straightened out, what else we got going on? I just put a new rear deck in this thing, made out of nice imitation rabbit fur. Ooh. Put my speakers back in today. Put the back seat in today. Still got to put the lower half in. The way my shifter rods are next to my transmission, I can't run my speedometer cable to it. There's just no room. The rods literally eclipse the hole that the cable screws onto. So the remedy for that was I've got, wherever I put it. Okay, so the remedy for not having a speedometer cable hooked up to the transmission was I pulled it out of the, I pulled it into the car, and here it is right here. There's what's supposed to thread into the transmission. Well, I pulled that up from the floor pan into the car, and I'm going to keep it in here, tucked under the dash. And Jeg sells this electric speedometer box. Jeg. They got this kit, which is pricey. This box right here, you can see where the speedometer cable will thread on right there. And what it does, you hit me again, I'll punch you in the face. Watch this. See, I punch him in the face, but then I get a big old grease print on my fucking hand. So anyway, This box runs off of GPS. They give you a little antenna that's here in the bag. You can put wherever on the car. And then you wire this thing up, and then you wire the cable right into it. And my speedometer will be the most accurate one on the road until I go through a tunnel. Then it'll just go to 0. I'm also in the process of trying to retrofit these bucket seats into the car. I picked these up back in November, I think, off my buddy Mark in Philly. They're out of a 68 GTO. Now, it's funny enough, they have headrests for a 68. What I didn't know until I started digging into the computer, you could buy headrests in 68. Option code 571 cost $52 extra back then, which translates to $400 extra today, which is a no-brainer as to why nobody bought headrests in 68. Why would you? An extra $400 for what? Something none of my other cars have? Whoa. But yeah, it's kind of cool. 68 seats with a headrest. Alright, so before we can put the seats in the car, I had to make new holes like I was talking. So I got the holes put in the floor. Seats are ready to bolt in. But before I can do that, I got to lay this carpet back in here. Now, with the new 4-speed hump that's hiding under here and the shifter, it's not fitting really good right here on the transmission tunnel. And it's pulled pretty tight up into the corners where it's supposed to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to iron it down to the floor. Now, check out this iron. This thing is cool. It's got to be from like the 60s, maybe 70s. This thing is ancient. It's my mom's. Get some lighting on there. Dude, that thing is ancient. Jetstream. Oh. So, I'm gonna crawl in there with the iron. I'm gonna start patting this thing down to the floor, and hopefully it'll take a new shape and form around that 4-speed hump. Alright, so as you just seen, the seats were on the floor. Well, guess where they are now? They're now in the car. And man, do they look good in there. I never thought I'd ever have a set of bucket seats, like real A-body bucket seats in a car, other than the GTO we used to have. And I'm pretty happy, especially the way the material looks. The material matches the rear seats, kind of, and the material matches the door panels. I'm stoked. Today, I'm filming, is Monday, the end of April, whatever day it is. I think it's the 29th. Friday, I got those seats in the car. And then last night, Sunday, the car hit the road. It didn't go far because we just kind of ran it around locally just to feel it out and see how the car is going to perform and all that. And it's fun. It's fun to drive. And I have to take it really easy right now because I got that brand new clutch in there and you don't want to glaze those. So you got to like do your first 500 miles easy driving. However, I did kind of get into second gear a little bit last night on the Pike. Just kept pushing my foot deeper and deeper down into the gas pedal while I was in second. Before I knew it, this thing was taking off like a spaceship. I got it to the floor eventually, and I think I shifted out probably around 4,200 to 4,500. Somewhere around there. I didn't even wind it up all the way. And I was already rolling way faster than I should have been. So that was the extent of me having fun with the car. I didn't get a chance to film all that because I had 85 people over here and we were all wrenching on this thing and it was just chaotic. So now, today, I'm going to take it over to Chris's house. We're going to play around with the timing. Make sure it's still where we set it and see if we can advance it up a little bit. Or retard it, depending on where it is. So, I'll take you along for that ride. And you'll definitely get a full feature episode of me ripping this thing around. Just let me get some miles on it first. And then we'll make a really, really fun episode. Alright, so here we are, warming the car up, which is going to take a while. It won't stay running on its own until it hits about 150. And it doesn't run perfect until it hits about 180. And then it sits at like 190. So, we're going to hit the road, we're going to head over to Chris's house. We're going to play with some things. Alright, so we're on the road. Got to take it super easy for 500 miles apparently. Because you got to seat this clutch so you don't glaze it, which is really boring, and I really want to beat the shit out of this thing, and I can't. So, we're doing a little road test right now, working out some bugs. We still don't have the hood on the car yet for that reason. And that's pretty much it. Here, go through some gears. shifter working how it should for the most part. Every once in a while it jams going to third gear. You go pull it back to neutral and then go to second and go back to third. So you might have to do some investigation on that, but it hasn't been a nuisance yet. But look around, this is what it is. It's fun, it's loud. Yeah. See, I'd really like to go to fourth gear right now, but since we did overcam it, in fact, if you put it in fourth at this RPM, it would like to do the little chug-a-lug dance. So we'll just hover here at 1800 RPMs in third, giving the illusion that we're in fourth gear if we had 456s in the back.